Hey everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships. This, as you can see, is a game that I played in the Großer Kurfürst. Probably about two weeks ago, I think. Yeah. Haven't had a chance to make a video in the last couple of weeks. I have to say, the Großer Kurfürst seems to be a ship that it's just easy to do damage in. I seem to get higher damage numbers in this ship than I do in my Montana, or even sometimes in the Yamato, even though Yamato is pretty good at it too. Some long range shots into this Yamato. I'm just gonna head on over to that sea capture point where you see most of the cruisers in front of me are headed. See if I can support them. But yeah, the Kurfürst just seems to be one of those ships where it just seems to pile up on the damage for me when I'm playing a game. They just keep firing and it just keeps doing damage. It may be because I use the bigger guns on this ship. I'm not sure. But I also have a lot of fun in this ship because it is an extremely tanky ship. Unless you get hit by torpedoes, of course. But that's what your hydroacoustic search is for. Try and get some shots into that Otago. This ship becomes even more dangerous in the closer it gets. So you want to be pushing this ship up close to the caps. You don't want to necessarily go too aggressive. That can get you free killed pretty quick. So we're going to make our way around these islands and we're going to actually push up into the sea cap. I know it's a little haven where enemy destroyers can surprise you in here, but I have a fair bit of backup just here. Good citadel on that Yamato. Take a look at where that destroyer is. You know, I always ask myself, would this game be better without heavy citadel damage? It's a bit of a yes and a no answer to that, probably. If there was no citadel damage and you got other kinds of damage, maybe it puts debuffs on you that sort of slow your ship down, slow your rotation of your turrets down, slow your loading down. But you only receive normal penetration damage, you might see that damage in the game would be more even. But then there'd be lots of people screaming at you, no, citadels have got to stay in the game. I don't leave them in there, I don't care. I'm just wondering if it'd be a more even kind of game. Because it's very spiky, the damage that you can get in this game, especially in those Royal Navy cruisers like you saw. That poor Neptune just got obliterated. Mind you, he's moved in to a spot he probably shouldn't have. Up against a Minotaur. Just gonna push into this sea cap here. My secondaries, I think I have one or two pieces of extending the range on this ship, so they're out to about 9 kilometers. I don't use secondary targeting because I find that just the fear of secondaries hitting enemy ships is enough to make them think about pushing in. Just gonna sit here for a second, take stock of where we are and what's gonna happen next. See what we can do about this turret. I do tend to be a player that doesn't fully plan everything out. I think a lot of the times I will react to a situation rather than have a fully planned out idea of the possibilities. But I find that more fun than sitting there and thinking, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Of course, you should think about what they're doing. Definitely. But overthinking it can hurt you sometimes too. Not all the time. I'm probably just crap at it, that's all. Try and hit this Montana. That was that Shimakaze that died earlier that hit me with that torpedo, I think. It's time to push into this B cap. I'm hoping the guys behind me will follow me in. But I'm not sure, I can't remember, I don't think they did. But the battleship just below me did. I think that's the other Kurfürst. Keep trying to harass this Montana. He's running away, he shouldn't be, he's in a Montana. They had their citadels lowered. They're more brawly than they used to be. He should be turning in, and he should be coming in to try and bully me out of here. Even though I'm in the Kurfürst, which is not easy to bully. Because, well, Kurfürst is probably the biggest bully of the game, but he shouldn't be running away like that. When you're running away and you're that distance away, it's easier for me to do a lot of damage to him. You see how quickly my fires get put out. I've actually got this ship with all of the fire prevention stuff on, all the timer reductions and everything, so it's a pretty tanky battleship with the way I have it set up. And that Montana obviously wasn't watching where he was driving, because now he's in a big sticky situation. And thank you very much to that Fletcher that's covered me up with the smoke. It does help when you can get a respite from all the focused fire sometimes you'll get. I tend to get focused more on Yamato than I do in the Kurfürst. I didn't mean to glide out of this smoke, but I did anyway. I think I must have been just going too fast, or I just didn't hit the reverse on the throttle quick enough. So I figure I'm out, I may as well keep going forward because it's going to take too long to reverse back in. And take a look at these ships to the south of me. And this St. Louis kind of spins around in figure eights into the A cap and back out again for the remainder of his life in this game. But we're not worried about him. We'll look at the Prince Eugen and the Shimakaze down here. Even without manual fire on these secondaries, they can be pretty accurate, and you can see they fire at a fair distance. Normal penetrations on that Prince Eugen. German cruisers can be deceptively not tanky, but troll armor-ish sometimes. Especially if you get closer. It's when their citadels start being harder to hit because they're very much at the waterline. Their citadels, like all the other German ships in the game, destroyers that don't have citadels. Managed to finish off the Hindenburg. Oh, did I say Prince Eugen before? It's not good. Fair enough. popped the hydroacoustic set. I probably didn't need to, but I wasn't sure if that Shimakaze was going to die quickly or not. Ended up my secondaries took him out. I wasn't sure how long and where he might have disappeared to before he launched any torpedoes. In the end he hasn't launched torpedoes, but still. Hydro is on. Turned my attention over to that St. Louis sitting by the A spot. Unfortunately, chasing those guys down south has put me off where I want to be, which is closer to the caps than this. Usually I'd like to hang around only like a kilometer at worst away from the edges of the cap circles, because that's where my firepower works best in this or most other battleships, even the Yamato, even though it has a much higher citadel. The thing that evens that out is the fact that it has such a good torpedo belt, and in close. The Yamato's guns don't turn well enough to be a brawling ship, but she's still dangerous, especially with their secondaries. Good 8,000 hit on that Montana out there. But he's too far away to affect any of this game, and for some reason 3 of our ships have gone up there with him. And they're out of the game up there. They've got to be closer to these capture points. You have to play the objectives. It sure lasts a long time, the hydroacoustic search, doesn't it? I'm just waiting to spot where this St. Louis is. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure where he was going to be, because he wasn't spotted, and my destroyers had moved out of the cap circle and away from him. One of them was destroyed actually. But we're not going to take this crap. He's not going to fire at us and get away with it, so we're going to push him out by just simply driving at him and bullying him out of the cap. We're going to take this cap off him. I get a bit unlucky with the hits on the St. Louis. It takes me a little while to finish him. It shouldn't have taken so long, but well, it happens sometimes, and well, my shooting is probably not the best kind of shooting anyway. Still trying to finish him off. I'm also watching where the Montana and Yamato have gotten to on the opposition team. They've gone so far north. They're not even worth thinking about at this stage. We're a ship behind now, because a couple of our ships decided to go after them, and of course, once you get in close to those two, the Yamato or the Montana, their guns get even better as you get closer, and the Yamato's already dangerous. I think I finally managed to finish off this St. Louis in this last shot, I hope. I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. And now I'm in a very good position, really. They have to come to us to change this game. We've both got 3 ships left. They're out of position, well out of position. They can't hope to run back here. They have to start sinking us, and we're where the objectives are and they're not. I haven't got shots at the Yamato. I don't really have any at the Montana either, which means that they can't shoot me, and they don't even know where I am. Or they'll have me on their screen, but they can't really see me until this spotter plane that was left over from the... I didn't think the St. Louis had a spotter plane, but it does apparently. You can see the other Kurfürst has gone after that Shimakaze. In a lot of ships, going after a destroyer and a battleship is probably not a good idea. But these German battleships, especially at this tier, tier 8 and above, have pretty good secondaries. I'm not sure about the Friedrich der Große because, well, I never really played it.
Unser Sieg ist in Sicht.
Let's try and finish off this Montana. See, easy to hit their citadels at long range. If he was in closer, that would have been so much harder to do. Well, a little bit harder to do. He didn't have that much health left. And now I'm thinking, I don't want to stay here because the Yamato can penetrate me from just about any angle at once. So I'm thinking I'm going to move out and around these islands, come out from somewhere he's maybe not expecting. I didn't realize that we were almost at 10,000, or at 1,000, sorry, points at this point. I was just trying to pay attention to where I'm going and think about where the Yamato might go to. This is the point where I do try and plan. But he's going over to the other Kurfürst. And I think I get one final salvo in before we manage to win this game. Yeah. No penetrations, but no citadels, but 5 penetrations. It was 20,000 damage and got the high caliber. It's pretty good. And that was the end of that. 162,000 damage, 10,000 experience. I think it was the first win of the day, and I had a few flags on there. I've got the premium camo on this, so we've got 505,000 credits. Managed to top the team, 4 kills. And a nice profit for that game. So I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.